Okay, and then I will let people in as they join. That's fine. You can go away. Okay, hi everyone. Thank you for joining on this lovely, I was going to say sunny Thursday afternoon, but it's definitely not sunny here in Yorkshire. So yeah, we're going to be talking around cyber escape rooms. So let's get started. Yeah, like I said, thank you everyone for attending. For those of you who don't know me, I am Amy Stokes-Waters. I am the CEO at a company whose name is in the middle of changing. So some of you might know us as Capture the Talent, but hopefully I've done a good enough job over the last few weeks of making you aware that we are changing our name to ESC, aka the Cyber Escape Room Company. Following the departure of my business partner in July, I decided that I wanted to switch the direction of the business. So I reviewed our board and made sure we had the right people in place to support us. So I'll just give you a quick run through of who we've got with us on the team now. So we've got Tanesh Chaya. He is a serial entrepreneur. You might know him from the Jenny platform. We've got Rick Ferguson, who is the VP of Security Intelligence at Forescout, previously VP of Security Intelligence at Trend. We've got Michael, who's on this call somewhere, who's the head of digital at Chelmsford Council. We've also got, if my slide changes, oh, there we go. Yeah, we've also got Cassia Ferguson, who's the head of comms at Trend Micro. We've got Keith Price, who is the CSO, so Chief Security Officer at the National Highways Agency. He was previously SecOps Director at the US Department of Defense. We've got Phil Cracknell, who is a CISO with IP Performance, previously Security Advisor to the Cabinet. Not to the Cabinet Office. Yeah, so following some pretty intense discussions over the last few months, we decided to focus on the security awareness training market. Now, there's a couple of reasons for this. One of them being I'm not super technical, and we previously delivered pen tester training, so we can see how that one might not have worked out. The second and probably more important reason, though, is that every single time I see a breach that's made the news, whether it's MGM, TalkTalk, Capita, every single one, there's two things that I always remark about it. So the first is there's always a press release that says it's been a very sophisticated attack. The second is that the sophisticated attack usually starts with compromising an end user's credentials. So whether that's through social engineering, phishing, password reuse, vishing, it always starts with an end user. And why is that? Well, I know you think I'm probably going to say it's because users are the weakest link, but I'm not Anne Robinson, and that's definitely not a photograph of me. And so that's not why I think these attacks start with users. Put quite simply, it's because users are the biggest attack surface that we've got. So they're our external point out into the world for your organization. They're literally your perimeter wall as a business. If you had 1,000 firewalls, you wouldn't say that the firewalls were the weakest link in the security chain. You'd do what you could to secure them. You'd configure those firewalls. And with end users, the way that we configure our end users to be more secure is we do it with security awareness training. So that's what we're here to talk about today. Talk about what it means for businesses and how cyber escape rooms are disrupting the status quo when it comes to training. So I'm not going to get you all to put your hands up, mostly because I can't see any of you because I'm presenting. But I do want you to have a think about a couple of questions. So the first is, have you ever voluntarily completed any cyber awareness training when you're not at work, or even in work, actually? But yeah, so if you're sat on an evening where you could be sat relaxing, eating pizza, stroking your dog, talking to the half, whatever it is you do, have you ever sat down at a time when you could be doing those things and thought, what I'm actually going to do is I'm going to do a phishing simulation, or I'm going to read some stuff about password security? I'm going to guess that unless I have totally misjudged everyone on this call, that none of you have done that. Because I mean, I know I definitely haven't. But the second question I'm going to ask is, has anyone here ever voluntarily done an escape room on a weekend? I know I definitely have. I can see a few names on here who I know definitely have as well. So hopefully there's quite a few of you. But why is that? Why would you choose to spend your weekend having fun, doing puzzles, playing games with your friends, instead of being on an interactive e-learning module about security awareness. Why is that? It's because, when my slide changes, it's because doing escape rooms are really bloody fun. So escape rooms are really fun. Security awareness training is inherently boring. So what we're doing here at the Cyber Escape Room Company is to combine something that can be considered quite dry and quite boring, like security awareness training, and deliver that content through the vehicle of an escape room, which is inherently fun, mashing those two things together to try and shake it up a little bit. I want to be quite clear though, I'm not saying you're going to replace your entire security awareness training program with our escape rooms. In fact, I would recommend against that because, not because they're not awesome, but as part of the research that we've been doing, going down this route and looking into awareness training and looking at learning styles, it's really evident that different people learn in different ways, and it's important that we give people a variety of training options, and we shouldn't just be relying on one method of training for everyone. So when all we do is give people training that's like a compliance tick box, we're really doing our company a disservice, but we're also doing our people a disservice. And we know that people don't pay attention to that kind of training. I mean, it's evident if you ever look at TikTok. I must scroll through loads and loads of these videos on an evening, but this one, for example, it's too fast. How could you even tell what's on? That's exactly what, I'm not going to lie, I'm like if someone gives me compliance tick box training. I know someone who's joined a company recently and they were showing off to me saying, I've managed to complete the 12 hours of training in 1 hour just by hitting the next button on all these videos. So yeah, that's not the type of training that works. It's not the type of training that's useful for our users, and it's not the type of training that's going to keep our organizations secure. So that's kind of where we want to jump into the market there and develop something that's interactive that people want to get involved in. Yeah, so we've come up with the cyber escape rooms. So what is an escape room? As I said, it's fully interactive. It's a physical game. It can be played in your office or an event, or your chosen event location. It gets people together. It gets people touching and feeling objects, discussing problems, linking those problems back to real life security concepts. And we're putting a more positive slant on cybersecurity training by doing that. So the associations with security are going to be a lot more engaging. So by doing something that's physically interactive, we also can improve our knowledge retention. So when people get their hands on something, if you're physically touching things, your brain actually makes a lot more connections and you're able to remember that experience better. Which means that when you come across a scenario in real life where you've got to make a decision about security, so whether it's something like changing your password, if you've done something physically about password security, you'll be more likely to remember those lessons because your brain can, because you've made more connections about it, so you've made a stronger memory. So when you order a cyber escape room from us, we send you a lovely box that looks like this. Unfortunately, Brad Pitt is not included in it. If anyone knows where we could get hold of one, that would be great. Inside the box, depending on the scenario that you've purchased, we have a variety of physical and digital artifacts. So the one that I've shown here is the first scenario that we've built, and that's called the Executive's Dilemma, which sees you playing the part of a crack team that's been drafted in to help a big tech company, which I think we actually called Fugal, although I've noticed that someone from Google has joined this call. It was definitely not Google, I promise, Rishi. It's definitely Fugal, who have been attacked by a ransomware gang. The CEO has been the victim of it, and they've done what all good CEOs would do and gone into hiding and left everyone else to mop up. Initially, what you're given as part of this scenario is the notebook, a phone, a wallet, and a briefcase. All of those things are locked, and you've got 1 hour to work through them and get the data back before it's leaked to the press, causing irreparable damage to your company's reputation via the likes of Mr. Rupert Murdoch. To progress through the escape room, you have to work as a team. You have to look for clues that are going to help you move to kind of the next step of the puzzle. If anyone on this call is also coming to our launch event next week, I'm going to show you bits of some stuff now. It's not clues for the escape room, I promise. So we might have some physical artifacts. So there's a notebook with some meeting notes in it and a specific date you're looking for. There might be text messages on the phone that you need to look out for, voice notes, things hidden away. We've made it super interactive, so you've really got to put some legwork in to find the answers. It's not all exactly straightforward, which is what we like in a good puzzle. And alongside the physical artifacts that we've got in the box, we've also developed our own digital ones. So we've worked with the team at Punk Security, who are awesome, by the way. They've helped us develop a webmail application, which has got phishing emails in there. It's got regular emails in there. It's got lots of stuff for you to have a read through and see if that can help you to get this data back. For the bank heist scenario that we've got, that's coming out soon, we've developed our own banking app so you can transfer yourself money. Unfortunately, it's from a fictional bank account, so you won't be getting any richer off the back of it. But yeah, that's some of the cool stuff that we've been building. Alongside these items, you'll always be given a workbook as well, so that will explain if you buy an escape room and we deliver it to your office. You'll also get sent a workbook that explains the full solution for the escape room. It gives you hints that you could give your players. It gives you some ideas for workshops, top tips for running your event, and of course the important bit, which is the learning outcomes that we want people to get out the back of it as well. So for example, for the executive's dilemma, it's all about password security, and we want to learn about OSINTable passwords. We can learn about password reuse. We can learn about not sending passwords in plain text to other people, all that kind of thing. So yeah, we'll always include a workbook that kind of gives you an overview around that. So let's just take a quick look at the available scenarios that we've got and what's in the roadmap. So we've already talked briefly about the executive's dilemma, whereby you're recovering the data after a cyber attack. In the bank heist, which is a scenario that we're going to bring out hopefully in the next couple of months, we're playing the part of a hacker. So we're not recovering from an attack. We're actually launching an attack. So we're playing the part of a hacker who's found a rucksack on a train with the aim of breaking into the owner's bank account and emptying that bank account. So like I said, that should be available before the end of this year. It's currently in beta testing. If you come into the event next week, then you will get a preview of it. We've got a third scenario called Case Closed, which is currently in storyboarding mode, and that should be out in the new year. And then finally, we've got one called Sounds Fishy, which is a project that I'm actually working on with an AI company called Billick. And they're developing some AI agents that can act as personas for you to fish in some digital training. So I tried that out yesterday. It was really bloody difficult. So I've asked them to make it a bit easier so that I can win the game. But yeah, that's really cool. So you literally you can just call a number. There's a fake AI agent on the other side of the call, and you get to try and fish some information out of them. So yeah, that should hopefully be around before the end of the year as well. So as you can see, we're working on lots of super cool stuff over the next few months. Since taking the decision in July to completely rebrand the business and focus on cyber escape rooms, we have actually been working with some really cool, awesome people. So including Chelmsford City Council, CAE Technology Services, and even the UK Ministry of Defence, which is pretty awesome. And we're in talks with some really cool people as well. So we've talked to Google, been talking to EY, BAE Technologies, some pharma companies, some big finance companies, and some other parts of the MOD as well. So I'm super confident about the services we're providing. And I know that if you play one of them, you will absolutely love it too. So I'm just going to finish off quickly by telling you exactly how you can get your hands on an escape room. So all you need to do is pick which game you want to play. Let us know how many players you've got, and we can help you work out how many boxes you need. And then select a mode. So that sounded really Yorkshire, didn't it? Select a mode. So there's two options. You can either self-host it, which is where we send you a box, you get the workbook that goes with it, and you guys can run it yourselves. You can either buy one outright and keep it, or you can borrow one. So some people, the MOD's borrowed one, they've borrowed it for the month, and they're just going to post it back to me, hopefully. Once you've, so you can either do that, or we can come on site and run the event for you. So if you want to have, I don't know, a security awareness day with 100 people, we can come and bring a load of boxes. We'll do the full setup, and we can run it as an event, which is, that's pretty cool. It works for security awareness training. That works for if you've got like a client day that you're doing. So CAE Technologies, they had 80 customers come in and they wanted to do something that was a little bit different, that wasn't golf or I don't know what other sporty stuff people seem to do at customer events. They wanted to do something that was cyber related. So yeah, we went and did that for them. Also works really well if you've got a cyber security team and want to do some team building kind of stuff. So like I've said, it is all aimed at end users, but there's still fun for cyber people. And it's again something that's cyber focused rather than it being sport or drinking related, which is what I found a lot of team building exercises that seem to focus on. So yeah, once you've picked how you want to run it, then you just get in touch with us. And we can go from there. Has anyone got any questions?
I've got a question.
Yes.
So what size would you say you can use these escape rooms for? What's the makeup of kind of businesses and team sizes that you could use them for?
So the ones that we've got out at the moment are primarily aimed at kind of larger organizations. But I mean, so each box does up to 5 people at a time. But yeah, so the ones that we're currently running are more enterprise style, but we are currently developing a SMB focused box as well, which will be a bit cheaper. It'll be a 30-minute one. It'll give you a bit of an introduction to cyber escape rooms, but it's not like the full-blown event. So yeah, we've got some things that we're working on. Any more?
Yeah, Amy, I've got one question. So how long does a escape room last, roughly? You might have said it before, I missed it, but yeah.
Yeah, so we take the format of a traditional escape room, so you get an hour, which is why they're really good for like customer events and stuff, because it's time boxed, so you know exactly how long it's going to take. So we've got a timer that we've built our own timer, but I mean you can use any hour timer obviously on YouTube. So yeah, just start the timer and off you go. You've got an hour to get through it, but this is where we provide the workbook as well, that's got hints in, because you do want people to get to the end of the escape room so that they can take advantage of the learning opportunities. So yeah, we've put some hints in there to make sure that people kind of get jollied along to complete it within an hour. Most people do manage it. I think the quickest time anyone's done it in is 43 minutes. So yeah, if anyone wants to buy one and try and beat that time, feel free.
So I suppose then you could have up to about 35 people, 5 people at a shot, maybe 7 hours, and it just getting all those people trained. So yeah, that's great. Thanks.
Yeah, no, that's fine. Yeah, and like I said, if we do an on-site event, we can bring multiple boxes with us. So I think when we worked with CAE Technologies, I think we brought I can't remember how many boxes we brought now, but 8 or 9 boxes, and they were all in the room together doing it at the same time. So yeah, you can either do it in batches of people, or you can run it as one big event and the teams can compete against each other.
Cool, thanks.
Any more questions? Nope, all good. Well, thank you very much, everyone, for listening. Our contact details are there. Like I said, if you think of anything, that you've not had a chance to ask today, or if there's anything I've not covered, please feel free to drop me a message. You know where I am on LinkedIn, or yeah, our details are here. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Bye.
Thanks.